All right. We'll see how that works. Not sure the Dremel was going to be a good shaker. I'm not so sure. Tapping helped. I see with the Vader, there's a whole bunch of bubbles that came to the top. Same with the Stormtroopers too. Further review and inspection. And I was getting more and more aggressive with my tapping. It never occurred to me that I should have brought a pair of drumsticks out here to wail on these. Anyway, I'll let these go and cure a bit, and we'll see how this turns out. It has been 1 week since I first poured these. 6 Stormtroopers, 6 Darth Vaders. This is the second time I've tried to make plaster casts out of one of these silicone molds. Last time it was just the Stormtroopers before I picked up the Vader ones. And I didn't have a lot of luck, a lot of voids. And so I was trying to find a way to vibrate these in hopes that bubbles would come up. And it does look like, I don't know if the cameras can pick up that detail. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. And then there's a black line. Anyway, a lot of bubbles did come to the surface. So hopefully I've got at least 2 good ones of each. It'd be nice that when I cast these, I'm able to cast at least 2 at a time. And it would be nice if I could even get more than that. So let's take a look, see. How are these? Okay, looks like I just need to press on the forehead there. There's some flashing that I'm going to need to clean up, it looks like, but that's okay. Just on at a quick glance here, it looks like they turned out better than my first try. I think I'm on the right track. All right, so here's one. There's a few voids and such, but for the most part, doesn't look too bad. And a scuff there at the top. This one not as good as that one. Ooh, and this one's got lots of bubbles pitting. Same with this one. All right, so I don't know. Maybe I'll clean them all up, give them all a cast, and see how it turns out. Now, there's one that it wasn't too bad. Okay, and I'll inspect those in a much greater detail for sure. Okay, let's see how the Vaders turned out. Oh, not bad. Although, nah, right there. And of course, I'm comparing these to this, and I was disappointed to find out that my mold was as small. And that's all right for what I eventually want to use these for, and they still would work for magnets too. All right, so let me just pop these all out and see what I got. Okay, this one, not too bad. Oh, void there. Ooh, this one, it's got a little imperfection there. For the most part, that doesn't look too bad at all. Okay. Yeah, no, I want to disqualify the ones that have obvious voids. Oh, this one looks really good except for that spot there. Yeah, that seems to be a troublesome spot right there. All right, I might end up casting a couple of these anyway, just to see how they look and such in the finished cast. All right, that's part of what I want to be doing here for Star Wars Day, but not the only thing. The big thing I want to do is go about making some Nordic Gold and making a Nordic Gold Imperial ingot. All right, so let's see about doing that next. Off of Wikipedia for Nordic Gold, the formula I've got is 89% copper, 5% aluminum, 5% zinc, and 1% tin. This is all the copper that I have. I've got a bunch of other copper that I just haven't turned into ingots. And it looks like I didn't put the weight on that one. I'll have to weigh this out. And I got almost 1.5 pounds just right there. I don't know if I'm going to need all of that to cast that. I am reevaluating whether or not I want to cast any of those guys, and I think I'm going to hold off until I get better plaster master. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I've got some notes somewhere that I'm going to have to dig out that should tell me exactly how much metal I will need, or and how much aluminum, and then I can do a density calculation and kind of dial in how much. I don't think I need more Nordic Gold. Well, I don't know. If I do this, maybe I'll make some coins, not today, but I'll have some left over. Yeah, I'll probably just go ahead and melt this up, and at least this much, and then whatever I have left over I'll save for something else. All right, let me run some numbers. All right, I crunched a bunch of numbers. I started off with my copper at 89%, and I took down the weight that I have in grams, did some proportional stuff, and found out that the total weight should be 3191. And then from there I took 5% and 1% of that. And then, of course, I did some other math to kind of figure out, to make certain that my numbers all checked out. Anyway, here are the numbers that I've got. Okay, so aluminum, I'm within a couple of grams. Tin, I'm within a couple of grams. Zinc's the only one that's a little bit, that's farther out. It's almost 5 grams off, but I'm going to go with those rather than spend a whole lot of time to see if I could dial that zinc in. And why wouldn't I? Well, you may have seen that formula right there. So, I mean, there's some pragmatism to this. Hopefully, it'll still all turn out relatively good. All right, I'm going to ram up my mold, and I don't see any real need to put that on camera. And then I'll fire up the furnace and start putting together all these parts: my copper, my aluminum, my tin, and my zinc. And by the way, that zinc is a leftover from my zinc ingot. Oh, sounds like a neighbor's riding his dirt bike up the street. Not a problem. All right, let's get to this. That's pretty. Oh. All right, well, I've just taken these two items out of the sand, and I find the color very interesting. And I suspect, based on what I've seen of Nordic Gold, that as soon as I start hitting this with my Dremel, the color variation is going to disappear. The only thing I'm kind of concerned about showing up is where the metal filled in here, but otherwise the rest of this isn't too bad. The Imperial logo came out real nice. If I do anything, I want to make certain I don't hit that, because that came out very nice. Probably one of the better ones that I've ever cast. But there is kind of a texture here. I'll see how smooth I can get that, or as I start polishing away at it, it might look pretty much the way I want it to, although I see a line right there. We'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna get the angle grinder, cut that stuff off. I'll do some polishing on this first to see before I mess with my ingot there. I've done lots of polishing. I'm going to do all of that, I think, off camera. Well, there's my Nordic Gold Imperial ingot. And that shined up awfully nice. You can definitely see that the finer setting on the 3D print made for a nicer finish, although I can still see the lines. And I'm sure they're probably showing up on the camera here, maybe. I like it. It looks awfully pretty. I'm even halfway tempted to leave that Imperial logo as it is and not paint it, for fear that it'll kind of mess things up. Although I suppose I could always buff out the paint and start over, but I kind of like the way that looks. All right, I'll think about it, and if I end up excuse me, if I end up painting that, I'll have that as a final shot. Otherwise, I think I'm going to just kind of leave it right there. Yeah, that turned out pretty.